think I can. Yes. So good afternoon, guys.
Good afternoon.
Yeah. Thank you for joining us today on another conversation series. Olakumi, and today we'll be talking with Dr. Tolulope Amusa. He's a 2021 Chevening Scholar, and he's going to just be sharing with us like tips on how he got chosen for Chevening this year. And just before we go into it, I'll just talk briefly about DWS. So DWS, which is Doctors Without Stats, it's a platform started essentially to share information on alternative paths that doctors and other medics can tour in their careers beyond just clinical aspects. So since inception, we've had various doctors come on. So doctors in finance, doctors in design, doctors in epidemiology, medical innovation, and we hope to still have more of them, more doctors in diverse fields come on. So for today, as I said, we'll be having a conversation with Dr. Amusa. And just before we start on, I'll just like Yejide and Benga to introduce themselves, after which Dr. Tolu is going to introduce himself and give us a brief summary of his career journey so far to this point, and we can go into questions and tips on winning the Chevening Scholarship. So Benga, can you please introduce yourself briefly?
Okay, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Benga.
Hello, are you with me? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
I'm a partner with.
Hello, Benga.
Hello.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't get what you said. Hello.
A part 5 medical student of the
The final year medical student got that.
part 5, so not
Part 5. Oh, okay. All right. Welcome, Benga. Thank you. I know, Benga, you've joined, like, Benga is a part of the DWS community, so you're not actually a stranger here. So next, Yejide, can you introduce yourself? Yejide, are you online with us?
Yeah, sorry. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Yejide Okungbaye, and I'm a medical doctor.
Okay. All right. So, Dr. Amusa, would just like you to introduce yourself as well, and then give us a brief talk about your career so far.
Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Komi. Thank you for putting this together. So I'll be quick. I'm Tolulope Amusa, medical doctor, healthcare operational expert, and quality improvement specialist at General Hospital Lagos. Briefly, my story would hinge more around healthcare. I know this is Doctors Without Stats, and this is supposed to be like a scholarship application session. So it should also apply to others that are non-medics. But my story would hinge more around healthcare field. So please pardon me if that's for those that are going to use this recording now. Pardon me if you may not be able to relate so much, but then I will try to make everyone relate to it. So yeah, back in med school, I've always had this thing for public health, non-clinical medicine, and just to have something without stethoscope, just to be a doctor that is going to leave stethoscope, and that was because, looking at my senior colleagues that were in clinical medicine and our consultants, professors and everything, like there was, yes, they were inspiring, they were impacting lives and all of that. But, it was just one thing that made me decide I was going to leave clinical medicine. And that was the fact that my impact in clinical medicine can't be compared to what I was going to have outside of clinical medicine. Like, so I was discussing with a friend recently, and he told me this same thing also. And I was like, yes, this is actually one philosophy I've had since med school. The fact that as a public health person or as a doctor that is outside of clinical medicine, you can impact millions of people by just maybe one project, by maybe one policy, or by just maybe one insurance that you're. And as a surgeon or as a very, very good physician, you probably would see maybe a maximum of, say, in a good society or even a bad society like Nigeria, where we have low doctor to patient ratio, you can even maximum you can see in a year is like 10,000 patients. But for a doctor that has has gone beyond clinical medicine to go into policy, to go into maybe healthcare operations, to go into maybe health finance and all of that, you can have impact on more people. And that is why I chose that path. So forward to during house job and all of that, I took on courses, I took on, internship opportunities, volunteering for people and all of that, just always looking for that escape plan. Do you understand? Like that route outside of clinical medicine. And yes, I think this is where I'm going to like kind of bring others in. So if you know that this is what you want, if you know that this is the career path that you're choosing, don't let society restrain you. For clinicals, for doctors particularly, I thank me for doing this. For doctors particularly, most of us, we are streamlined towards, after med school, you're going into house job, after house job, service, after service, you either take a primary, you either take a medical officer job, or, you run out of the country, Japan, all of that. So, but with this kind of platform, you can now realize that you can go into so many fields that are non-clinical oriented, do you understand? But then still in healthcare. And even now go out of healthcare entirely as a doctor. Yes, you can go into design, like Pumi said, you can go into anything just as a doctor. Medicine is just a first degree like every other degree. So you can then chart your own career path. I have a friend who is into JavaScript and all of that, and is doing very fine. So as a career person, you can decide on your career path and always look out for opportunities in what you want. So like use platforms like this, platforms like Opportunities for Nigerians, platforms like what's this opportunities website, opportunitydex.org, and all of those opportunities websites online, and talk to people also. Yes, talk to people who are doing things that you want to do, who are also looking for opportunities like you are looking for, because they are going to be guides on your pathway to getting what you want. Even though they don't have them yet, they can have people that share information that they can share with you. So please, that is very, very key. So moving on, after, doing house job, I did some courses and all of that. Then in service, I was serving with the military, and I had some time on my hands. I still did some public health projects like that. And it was then I discussed with some of my senior colleagues there that were applying for scholarships and everything. And I had Chevening Scholarship. And I was like, wow, okay, yeah, this is nice. And, funnily enough, the person that I actually spoke to that introduced me to Chevening was not a military personnel. He was a doctor too. We've worked together on some project and everything, like a friend, a senior friend. But then I was in the military, so he spoke to me about Chevening. He said, "Why not apply for Chevening? Chevening is fully funded masters in the UK and everything." I was like, "Okay, fine, I'll put into it." So I did apply then, and funnily enough, that was my first attempt. I got to interview stage then, and I did not get selected at it. But the reason I applied then was not because I wanted to get selected. Of course, definitely I wanted the scholarship, but I was not even ready because I'm not done with NYSC then. At interview, I was just finishing NYSC. So I was not ready mentally for a master's degree. But then I knew that that was what I wanted and I was going to push for it. I was going to go for it. So the essence of me applying for the first time was that let me know what it was going to take. I did not even expect to get to interview stage, but let me know what it's going to take. Let me know the eligibility criteria and all of those things. Let me find out information about Chevening Scholarship. Let me see who are those that are Chevening scholars, who are those that Chevening is looking for. Do you understand? So I did quite a lot of research, quite a lot of readings, always checking my mails, always checking the internet, always checking everything. I could check every page on Chevening website. I could check every profile of everyone who has been a Chevening scholar, checked on LinkedIn, on Twitter. If I see anything Chevening, I'm opening it. So it was really, really helpful for me because I got to meet so much persons who have been chosen for Chevening. I got to know so much about the Chevening community and all of the things that Chevening stood for within that period. So then I applied, did my essays, had my essays reviewed, got to interview stage. I was so overjoyed, got admissions. In fact, funnily enough, I decided I was going to go to, I made my choice of school, it was public health I was going to do. And, I applied, got to interview stage. And when I got to interview stage, meeting other scholars at the interview venue, discussing with them and all of that, because I'm someone that likes talking to people, listening to their ideas also. And, there and then I decided I was going to change my course again. I was going to change my school. I changed my school there. I changed it at the interview stage and everything. And yeah, I exchanged contact with some persons also there and followed on like networking with them and all of that. Some of them became eventual scholars and I did not get selected. But then it did not really put me down. It was disheartening that, you did all of that research, you did not get selected. And then I had to apply again like last year, just like I think 2 months after the rejection mail came in and all of that. So yeah, it was overwhelming, but then I had to put in again. So but one good thing that last year did for me, last year did for me, it helped me kind of like shift the decision and have a more concrete reason, a more concrete why. Yes, like why do I want this and why am I going for a master's really, and what it is that I'm really going for. And that's actually what forms the basis of my questions to people that tell me they want to study masters in public health. I would always ask you, why public health? Because really, what is public health? Do you understand? Most people, when you ask that question, they will not be like, okay, public health is epidemiology. And why not do just MSc epidemiology? Public health is this. Why not just do what health policy? Public health is this. So public health is all of that, yes. But then if you know this is what you want, then go for what you want. That's what I tell people. So fast forward into last year, I applied again. But one thing that I decided was that, okay, since my application was strong enough to take me to interview stage last year, it was just going to be built upon to get me beyond the interview stage then, because, they say that don't change a winning formula. Clinicians know that. But when the formula is won, you need to be sure that the formula is still going to keep winning. So I decided to, update my resume, did a few things, worked interns some places, worked with some people, did some work on research, did some other things that I knew that was going to better position me as the person that Chevening is looking for the next cohort. So, you know, I put in my essays together, even though I was like discouraged and that get to me, I just put in again. I have friends that were able to talk to me, applying again, yeah, because you really need that also. And I was able to apply again. I knew I was going to even get like to interview stage already. So it's not like I'm bragging, but I already knew I was going to get to interview stage because the previous essays were fantastic, but then the new essays were like better. I knew they were better. So I got to interview stage. And that I was just like, oh, what? Again, we are here. Let's just, you know, go do the interviews better this time. One thing I did differently was that, so last year I did prepare for my interview, but I did not have something like we call mock interviews. I did not have mock interviews with anyone. I just kind of like prepared on my own and all of that. So for this year, I did mock interviews like several times. Like I had people that I sat down with in front of them, told them all the ideas I had in my head. Then I had people that I called over the phone and I explained everything, and they kind of like shaped my interview experience. So yes, I think that was a plus for me. Then beyond just editing my essays, I had more experience that I've added on. Like I said, I intern with some organizations. I work with some people on research. I did some other things that I knew that were Chevening worthy, or were things that were to put me in a better position for Chevening. So here's one thing that I also used to say to people is that you think that you are a star. Yes, you are a star, but you are one in thousands of people who are doing great things in Nigeria. So please always find that little extra thing you can add to your CV or to your resume that's going to put you out there. So in as much as you are a star in your field, people are praising you for all the works you're doing. Try to put in more extra efforts into being more of the person who you want to be, because Chevening is just a platform, but then you are the person, and opportunities are going to abound beyond Chevening. So always look out for opportunities as you are, to become more of the person you want to be. And then when the right opportunity comes to become that person, you would have been ready to be that person. Okay, so I think this is practically like a brief summary of the journey. Is there anything I'm missing? I don't think so. So over to you, Kumi.
All right, thank you very much, Tolu, for that. So just before we go ahead, this session is going to end in about 8 minutes due to like the time limits. However, we can join back with the same link when it runs out, so we can have the another 40 minutes one. What I would from some of the questions that we got, what I would like to ask, so for the essays, you I know for Chevening, you apply, you write your essays, then after the essays have been reviewed, that is when you get called for the interview. So for the essays aspects, what would you say gives you, should I say, an edge? So how, so this is maybe like practicalities now. So from everything you said, it's understood that to be chosen for Chevening, really you have to show that you have like done a lot of things, like looking at other Chevening scholars and seeing the things that they are doing. So you have to show that. So for the practicalities, what are things that need to be highlighted, like say in your essays, that would at least scale you into the interview room, at which point you then maybe like they do like mock interviews, and or what specific things should the essays?
All right. Okay, so I get your question. I'll just be direct. So here's the thing. Chevening has 4 essay questions that you're going to find in the application. The first question is on leadership and influence. The second is on networking. The third is on career plan. And the fourth is on studying in the UK. So the 4 questions are pretty straightforward. You're going to be getting questions like, Chevening is looking for individuals who are leaders in their field, who have influence and all of that. So demonstrate how you meet these requirements and how you intend to like lead or influence people in your field when you come back to your country and all of that. So it's just straightforward. Answer the questions. That's what I tell people. Like, so Chevening said they're looking for individuals who are influential in their community. So how have you led people? How have you been influential in your society? How have you maybe led an organization, maybe NGO, maybe a volunteer organization, maybe you've led at a student level, maybe you're currently working and you're leading maybe your peers, or you're leading some people that work under you, or you're leading, however it is that you're leading, anywhere you are leading currently, just give those examples. So, however, there are tips on how to write these essays. It's what we really want. Some of these tips are that you should use the STAR approach. That's so they say the situation, the task, the activity, you know, and the results, something like that. So you should use what was the situation like, what you did, what did you achieve with it, or what was the action you took, and what was the result like. Then, you know, you can also go on to use another R, which is like a reflection. So when you now reflected back, what were the results, like what the outcome of these results that you, or of the results that you had. So you understand? So something, stuff like that. Then also you can always relate your essays to the things that Chevening is doing, or the UK government is doing in the country. You can always find that on the UK government websites. You can also relate with maybe events around the country. So last year, you know, I also mentioned in my leadership essay that I lent my voice towards the End SARS protest that was ending police brutality in the country and all of that on social media. That was like part of leadership. Do you understand? So you can mention that also, like you can use situations that are happening around, you know, for you can mention like something around COVID and all of that. So yeah, things that are happening currently in the country, things that are happening globally, things that leadership points, really just leadership points. Those are the things that you really need in the essay. That's the essay on leadership now. Then also, I'm just trying to think now for other tips. Yes, we must lead. And it doesn't have to be something big, really. It's the way you paint it. It's the way you paint it. It doesn't have to be something maybe like a multinational organization. No, it could just be a school. You led maybe your students' fellowship. You led maybe student organization. You led maybe Rotaract Club. You led maybe press club, maybe quiz club or something. Anywhere you've demonstrated leadership and influence is really what matters. So, and how that leadership has impacted people's lives, and how you know, you give more than 1 to 2 or 3 examples where you've been able to demonstrate impact and influence. Basically, that's for leadership. Then we move on to networking. So networking is about just connecting people, connecting organizations, connecting things, and achieving results, basically. So how do you as a person or as a scholar join people together for one cause and they achieve the result? So you can say that, okay, I was a member of this, and then there was this body. So I reached out to this body and partnered with them to achieve these results. I built a relation between body A and body B to achieve something for a group of persons in this place. I did this. So if you notice what I'm saying since morning is I. Yes, that is what Chevening wants. Chevening wants people that are going to blow their trumpets. Do you understand? So you must always be that person who is key in everything you're saying. Mind you, this is looking like maybe I'm going to tell you like I know I'm not asking you to tell a lie, but in a situation whereby you were in a team, because most of us we are usually working in teams like that. You don't have to say that my team did this. No, you can still say my team and I did this. Do you understand? So that way it looks like you were leading the team, but then you probably did not lead the team. Do you understand what I'm saying? But point out where you influenced the team to do things. Point out where you don't have to be the head of the team or the president of the team or the group coordinator. No, you could just be maybe member of the team, but you had some influence in that team. You had connections, you had friends, you had networks with people who matter.
Hi, Tolu. Sorry, I
Sorry?
think I think we'll be logged out soon, so maybe we can just rejoin
Okay,
later and then we'll continue.
okay,
Okay, right.
okay, okay, so let's rejoin now.
Yeah.